They just want to really just kind of give those guys a little bit of insight as to where they are in their lives right now. That they should take advantage of every opportunity, because one of the players, Mike, I think he said that he hadn't been back here since 1994. So, and I don't know if any of those guys could imagine being gone for 25 years, and coming back to a place after that long, So, I just, they had other players in there, and all of them just kind of imparted something. Just continue to encourage those guys to play hard and believe in themselves and stick together as a family. So, whenever you get an opportunity to allow guys that have paved the way and went through the struggles, and have laid the bricks and the foundation in which we walk on, then you got to do that. So I'm sorry it took me so long to get here, but that's why it did. So what can I say about the game? I thought we played against a very talented team tonight. Certainly without Coach Ellis, I hope he gets well soon. They're going to have their challenges along with their travel and all of that stuff. But I have to give kudos to my guys, who came out in the second half and played the kind of basketball in which we're capable of playing. I thought we came out slow early on. Obviously it's not what you want, but in order to maintain some poise, and try to figure it out. You got to give credit to the point guard and to the bench players that came in, like Tyrell and Nigel Caesar gave us a shot in the arm. But if we can find a way to put together a complete game where we got guys playing well at the same time, then I think we could be a good team. Certainly we're playing against a lot of good teams, but we got some self-inflicted wounds that we gotta try to avoid.
Coach, going off your opening remarks, this team has a chance to do something that team did as well, making the tournament. How do you manage your big-term, long-term goals with, single-game goals as well?
Yeah, that's a great question, but I'm a brick-by-brick guy. A couple of weeks ago for Dr. King, we went to the celebration just off the square, and the guy who painted the mural, he told everybody to turn around and look, and he said, I painted all of those bricks individually. We looked, and it was almost hard for us to look at that and conceive that. And what we're doing is we're painting all of these bricks individually. So the first thing we want to do, man, we want to have the right attitude towards the day. We want to try to win the day. And if we can do that, man, I'm going to be honest with you, winning will be a byproduct of us staying consistent with our approach to our day and our culture.
Coach, during that 10-0 run by Coastal to start the game, you mentioned starting out slow, but it seemed like the team wasn't really panicking at that moment. You hung on to your timeouts, went into the under-16. What was kind of the feeling at that point, and what were you telling them in the timeout?
Yeah, they were punching, we were sparring. So to be honest with you, I saw at least 3 opportunities for us to score in that very first possession, and we passed up all 3. Like, guys are just kind of running the play as if we're in 5-on-0 and getting to the end action and thinking that that's the opening. We have to be a little bit more aggressive from the start. If the action comes early, if the opportunity comes early in the action, then you take it. So, it's just a mindset that we have to have going in. We'll show these guys on film, let them know that that's not a selfish play. That's just us being aggressive. Then once we see it go in, we start to get a little bit more aggressive, and those are opportunities that we take advantage of a little bit further down in the game.
What were you saying to the guys at halftime? Being tied, I know it's 0-0 game, but coming out, going on a big run in the first 4 minutes, what did that mean to y'all, and how did you get to that point?
Yeah, I talked to them about passion. It starts with that. It starts with them being inspirational. Playing basketball. Michael Jordan said that he played the same way every single day because somebody was there to see him play for the very first time. Somebody came to see us play for the very first time today. I don't know who it was, but somebody was here for the first time. in the way we played in the first half, I didn't want anybody walking away from here thinking that that's Texas State and that's what we teach and that's what we preach. So I talked to them about passion, about playing inspired basketball, and whatever happened, but be proud of it moving forward. And I wasn't sure that we could walk away from the first half proud of anything.
Coming out of that half, like we were talking about, Shelby Adams, one of the oldest veterans on the team, really stepping up, hitting some shots off the dribble. What is his leadership, and how do the other guys in the locker room kind of look up to him, and how does he lead the team, I guess?
Yeah, he's the anchor. He's the guy that is the example, not a guy that you make an example of. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, when you talk about passion, when you talk about leadership, when you talk about dedication, when you talk about commitment, you point to him as the model. So I'm not surprised that he came out the way that he came out in the second half, and displayed that. That's what we need. That's what we count on him to do.
Coach, I know you still got a ways to go, but you see it coming together for these guys?
We're taking steps. We are. I mean, you know how it is. You're dealing with the ups and downs of the season, ups and downs, of a game. I think that we're finding ways to win, and I think once you start finding ways to win, you start finding your identity along the way, and then after that, then you put it together, and then winning becomes a little bit easier.
How much does it help having those veterans to make those steps a little easier?
You know what? It does, and now moving forward, it's all about setting good examples for the other guys. And I thought that Brandon Love having the opportunity to play tonight, because the Bigs got in a little bit early foul trouble, I thought it was key, and I thought he came in and gave us a steady hand at the 5 spot against an extremely talented player down there. So I think hat has to go off to Nate Martin as well as Nigel for kind of raising him right, in the trenches of practice and so on and so forth.
3 in a row for you guys now headed to Louisiana, Coach. Keeping that momentum going. What's next for you guys?
Yeah, I think next for us is just resting our body, getting the proper nutrition and hydration and rest. Then after that, focus on Louisiana. It's going to be a tough game right there. It always is. And just watching some film and ways in which we can get better. And then just focus on winning the day.
You talked about passion, at halftime and everything. Coming out of the half, things were looking good. Almost 75% halfway through the second half. Things kind of started to slow down. Shots went down, and had a lot of turnovers, especially at the very end of the game. What were you telling those guys? Still preaching passion, or how was that going on the bench?
Yeah, I thought we were playing with passion, but I thought we got a little bit careless. I thought, when you talk about the turnovers, you're talking about guys that we expect to handle the ball, and we put the ball in their hands for a reason. I thought we over-dribbled a little bit, got too deep. We're not making good reads. So, I just challenged 12, and I challenged Drew Dren, and I challenged Shelby Adams, after that timeout, saying, if we're going to put the ball in your hands, it's for you to make the right decisions. Get proper spacing and play the game with some confidence. You see the pass, you make the pass.
What did you see out of Isaiah down the stretch that helped y'all keep that lead?
Something I want to see more of. I'm being completely honest with you. He's a guy that can impact winning on both ends. He's a guy that when he plays with that kind of level of passion, that kind of emotion, we're pretty good. He's a guy that's a mismatch every night. He's a guy that can shoot the ball, score it inside. He's a guy that can handle it. He can pass it. Something I want to see more of. That all of those things he impacts winning, Drew. And when you have a player like that who's been called a Swiss Army knife, then you want him to be that, and you want him to cut.
Any other questions?
One more.
Coach, you spoke about consistency earlier in this interview, and I just wanted to get your opinion on how your team's consistency over the last 3 games on defense impacted the past 3 games winning streak and tonight's game.
Yeah, it's identity. I said in the last press conference that this program was revitalized on the defensive end. It's all fine, well and good, when the ball is going in. But there got times where it's just not going to go in, even if it started going in. And our guys have to show that level of pride, all right, on the defensive end and step up. And I thought we did that tonight. Turned them over quite a bit in the first half, didn't get as many in the second half. But one thing that we did do, we got stops, and we finished with rebounds. Now, they missed a couple of chippies for sure. All right, but at the end of the day, we were able to rebound those because they're the number one offensive rebounding team in the Sun Belt. So it was important for us to rebound the ball when we did get those timely stops.
One more quick one. You had the blackout game a couple weeks ago. You had the ice storm game where a lot of fans showed up, and especially today, a lot of fans showing up to these games. A lot of energy in the stadium. How are you going to have to kind of bring that to the next couple of away games, and how has that impacted the games here?
Yeah, in the past, we've been able to kind of make our own noise on the road, and that's just locking in and everybody understanding that it's us against the world. But I tell you what, knowing that we have everybody, cheering for us and rooting for us here and counting on us, that's something that those guys are going to be, that's going to be in the forefront, So they know that, it's a prideful place here. Especially with the 94 team just stopping by. So those guys know that they're being watched, and they embrace the opportunity to perform.